Hey everyone, what's going on? It's Justin Carpenter here. I've been seeing way too many questions on the HP Tuners Facebook groups lately about getting the speedometer in line with the GPS. So I wanted to make a real quick and simple video on what I think is the quickest and the easiest way to do it. So what I do, I'll go out on the highway. I live a little bit outside of town, so it's real easy for me to do. Jump on the highway, set your cruise control at about 75. The faster you go, the better. You can do this in town at 40, whatever, but there's a little more potential for error the slower you're going. So if you can get up to 70, 75, 80, something like that, I find that you're going to get on the money a little quicker and a little easier. So set your cruise control at 75. Everybody's got a smartphone these days. Get a GPS app, open the GPS app up, and see how fast it says you're going on the GPS. So you can use those. Speed measurements from either the speedometer or while you're scanning with HP Tuners, this is what I prefer to do because I find that a lot of cars and trucks don't have accurate speedometers to begin with. They don't match what's actually in the computer. Some are better than others, but I usually see some being 1 to 2 off. It's usually just the needle placement, especially a lot of the Silverados that have had the clusters taken apart to fix the stepper motor issues. So anyways, take a measurement of how fast it shows you're going with the speedometer or in the scanner, and then take a measurement with the GPS. Either write those down or just make a mental note of them, and then we're going to throw those into a percent error calculator and get a percent error. So I'm going to show you how to do that here real quick. All right, so now that you've got your speed measurements, this is the one I use. It's on calculator.net. You can just Google percent error calculator, and there's a bajillion of them that come up. So in here, this is just for an example. So observed value, we're going to say we had the cruise set at 75. True value is what your GPS is going to say. And for instance, this one, let's just say it was 78. So let's say we're 3 off. So this is going to give us a percent error of negative 3.8. So actually, what you're going to do, you're going to use this to modify the stuff in the computer. So we're going to find a correction factor, and we're going to take, do 100. We're going to add our percent error. Yeah, I messed it up the first time. Yeah, ignore that one. So we're going to add it 100 by the percent error, and then we're going to divide that by 100. So 0.96, 0.15, or 0.962, something like that, is what we are going to multiply our speedometer calibration settings in the editor. So now we're over here in the editor in HP Tuners. I've got opened up a truck file. This particular truck had about a 30.1 inch tire size. It had a 342 gear ratio. So if you did change tire size or something, you can put in the height, you can put in the gear ratio right here. Then you can use these to adjust your speedometer calibration, and you can use that to scale the transmission parameters and adjust your basically that adjusts your shift points, and then you can also use this to adjust your speedometer. If you don't know your tire size, you can use this tool. You click this little unit conversion here, then you can put in the tire size, like a 275 60 15 or whatever you're running. It'll spit out the tire height right there. Then you would go into the gear tire wizard, and under your edit drop down, go to your gear tire wizard. Then you would input that here. You'd click adjust. Then we would go over here to Speedo. And so what we're going to be changing is the sensor calibration, VSS pulses per mile, and then we're also going to be changing the trans revolutions per mile. So really simply, the best way to do this, what I seem to be about the quickest way, is we're going to take this value, we're going to copy it, then we're going to go back over to our calculator, and we're just going to multiply that correction factor by that number. So to get the speedometer, the 3 mile per hour onto target, we're going to multiply that by our correction factor. We're going to copy that. We're going to go back in here into the tune file. Next, for trans revolutions per mile, it's really simple. What this is going to be, it's going to be our pulses per mile, and then the output shaft actually has a 40-tooth reluctor on it. So how this works, each revolution of the output shaft, it sees 40 pulses. So we can simply take our pulses per mile and we can divide that by 40, and that's going to give us our number of trans revolutions per mile. So we will go back to our calculator here, and we'll just simply divide that by 40. Then we'll copy this, and then this will go in right here. And then you're done. Flash it in and go do a test drive and see how it works. It really is that simple. It might take you 2 drives to get it dead on, to be right on the money. Usually one gets it really close. It might take you a second. Depending on how far off it is, it might take 2 or 3 times to get it right on the money. One should definitely get you in the ballpark. I definitely notice having to do this or having to make large changes to this, especially on trucks with big off-road tires. You know, they just say it's a 33 or it's a 35. Unless you're really measuring the rollout, it's not a 33. You can measure the rollout, put that in the Gear Tire Wizard, and be a lot closer. But doing the percent error method is going to get you a lot closer, a lot faster, and it really just is the simplest way to do this. So hope that was helpful. If you have any ideas for future videos, let me know. Make sure that you like and subscribe to the channel, and you'll always get updates for when I make new helpful videos for you guys. Thanks.